Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new YouTube series called Pimp My Builds. For those who followed me in Valorant for a long time, we had a very fun and successful series called Pimp My Lineups, where people sent in their lineups and then we went through them, we gave feedback, and we tried them in-game as well. We're gonna do the same thing for Deadlock. I don't know how often I'll be posting these, but we're gonna start with the first episode today. Our Twitch subscribers have sent in their builds in the Discord, and we're gonna give feedback to each one, and we might even try one of them in a game afterwards. All right, so the first build we have here is Offspec's Geist build. This is a Geist ult build, with reverb on the ult. So the idea here, the general vibe of the build is pretty similar to building for Mali's bomb, since you want to have the damage for output, but you try to ult the enemy's highest health player. Generally, you want to be forcing yourself to lower health pool to win a fight. Decay prevents them from healing up to lethal. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Mystic Reverb is an item that does 40% damage in a big area around you based on the damage of your last ability. So because Geist can technically do 2,000 to 3,000 damage with her ult, the health swap, I think the idea with this build is to be low HP, ult a very high HP target, and use Mystic Reverb to do a gigantic damage in an AoE. Sounds really a little bit gimmicky, but also sounds like a lot of fun. Let's see what this clip is. Let me see. Okay. Okay, so now he's getting low on purpose. Okay, let's see the ult. The ults. Interesting. Did you see how he died from the reverb there? So basically, you swap them and then they're just guaranteed to die from the reverb regardless, because it's 40% of the damage you did. So as long as you are low enough and you swap them, they're just gonna die afterwards, I think. Okay, that's kind of funny. It's a very cool idea. So let's look at the items. Offspec's Raid Boss Geist. Refresher makes sense because you're playing around the ult. I'm assuming this is the early game. Yeah, so here it says that like the sustain items are optional. But one thing about Geist in the laning stage is that for you to do a lot of harass damage with your bombs, you need to also have some health sustain, because you do damage to yourself when you also use your abilities. So I think if you see these like lane buys here, I don't think you have to like start with Mystic Burst, Headshot Booster. You can, but I think I wouldn't even put these as optionals. I think I would just start with some of these, maybe even extra regen now that it got buffed. I think that allows you to play much more aggressive. I think I would rather be like always topped off so I can spam those abilities more often. Pristine Emblem, upgrades healing. This makes sense. Obviously, you want to be really tanky. Majestic Leap is interesting. I'm also not sure. When you make builds, it's really smart to put them in like a buy order. And I'm pretty sure you're not going to buy Warpstone as your fourth item. So if you're making builds for like other people to follow as well, make sure that you like put it in an order so it's like easier to understand what the idea is behind it, because it seems like pretty crazy to buy 3 500s items and then just get Warpstone. Other than that, Diviner's Kevlar makes sense. You want to lower the cooldown. Geist's ult has a pretty long cooldown. And of course, the biggest drawback to this build in general, I'd say, is that Mystic Reverb has a 6-second cooldown. So it's kind of a waste to put it on her ult that is such a long cooldown. But I also do understand that this is a bit of a gimmick build. It's not supposed to be like a competitive build of sorts, but it's more like a fun thing to do. So, and that's also where the refresher comes into play. Superior cooldown makes sense. This all makes sense. You just like put all your eggs in one basket on your ult, and then you just go in and explode. It sounds fun. Yeah, it sounds fun. I'm pretty interested to see how this goes. Okay, next up, we have KweenCobra's hybrid ult bomb build for Bebop. Starts are pretty standard, but we buy escalating exposure, majestic leap, and duration extender. Exposure and Soul Shredder are a mean combo, and you do way more damage with bombs after escalating exposure starts stacking on them. Duration extender not only makes your ult longer, but makes the time escalating exposure is on them longer as well. This makes you a killing machine. Play as you would with normal bomb Bebop, majestic leap into ult in your back pocket. All right, so this is okay. Let's see here. Oh, that's a lot of items. Early game, Spirit Strike. As I'm assuming this build was made when Spirit Strike still had regen on it, which is why you buy it first here. Especially for Bebop, I think buying regen early is super important because you want to build bomb stacks. If you're playing a bomb build, I think that getting either healing right or melee or lifesteal or extra regen as one of your first items, or even sprint boots or monster rounds, any item that has some regen on it will help a lot. This was sent in a while ago, so it could be that it was made when Spirit Strike had regen on it, but that would definitely help. Another thing is that Mystic Reach isn't really that great before later on. The main use for Mystic Reach is number 1, to get a longer hook range, and number 2, to make sure that the ult has a big enough AoE to easily clear tier 3 camps. Because the circle under you when you ult with Bebop does only 75% of the full damage, so the fastest way to clear tier 3 camps is to walk out and then beam all the 3 minions with your ult. This is a lot easier if you have Mystic Reach, but since they spawn in on 8 minutes, you don't really need Reach until then. It's not going to help your hook that much in the laning stage, because the most important part is to eventually get your hook to level 2. Other than that, all the starting items are fine. All of these are also used in my build in a slightly different order. And this is also pretty similar to my build up to this part. This is extremely greedy, I think. So it's already greedy to farm for Echo Shard, because that's why you buy so many 500 items in a double bomb Bebop build, because you have to farm 6,200 souls for Echo Shard. As soon as you're done doing that, you want to buy as many smaller items as possible to kind of adjust for the fact that your power spike isn't really there, other than the fact that you're building stacks twice as fast. I think escalating here is pretty damn greedy. I know you said that like people die very fast at escalating and the bombs do more damage and stuff, but I genuinely think that escalating is a waste unless you go pure ult. I don't think I would ever put it in a hybrid build, because I genuinely don't think that bombs do that much more damage because of escalating, because of how quick you normally put the bombs on. Normally it's a hook and an uppercut and a bomb, and maybe you get a few stacks on, but I don't see how that's ever gonna justify the gigantic price tag compared to all of these like smaller items like cooldown, burst, reach, any of those. Majestic Leap is still fine to buy. I've been thinking about that many times too. It's a great item for rotations and getting ult angles, and because you buy spirit items in bomb builds anyway, it's not like your ult is terrible. But I will say that if you're gonna go towards the ult angle, I would much rather buy Mystic Slow than escalating exposure first. Mystic Slow, because the biggest issue with your ult when people start to like play around it is that they just run away. Like there's cover somewhere nearby and they run away. So the Mystic Slow basically almost doubles the amount of slow your ult has, and it becomes much harder to escape. So maybe you can buy escalating exposure later on, but I think it's just extremely greedy. Farm 2 items that are over 6,000 souls when you're still in the mid game. So I think this build is trying to, instead of like finding a compromise between bomb and ult build, you're kind of just trying to be both. I just don't think that's realistic in most games. Sell Endring for Unstoppable. I think that's like my main criticism. I just think that like the order of these items is probably a little bit. I think you would cut this one out completely and then it would feel okay. Other than that, if you want to play hybrid, then it's not a bad idea. I just think that it's not optimal either. I think you kind of got to pick one. Next up is dice. I make item page of situation. Okay. For the sake of the video, I'm sending my Paradox guide. Starts with Resto Shot Extra Regen. That's good. Headshot booster. I like all the starting items here. I think these ones all help you lane. High velocity mag helps you last hit. Headshot booster is good to harass. You got 2 regen items. Sprint boots, mystic burst. This is a very good like early game buy order, I think. I'm not like an expert in Paradox either. I'm not going to pretend like I am or anything. This looks very similar to how Michaels plays a Paradox, at least one of his builds. You can get insane burst damage with your carbine because Mystic Shot has a very good synergy with it. Bullet resist shredder as well. Mystic Shot will also proc bullet resist shredder. It will reduce their bullet resist when the spell damage comes from Mystic Shot. This is a very, very typical cookie cutter Paradox build. I've seen a lot of similar builds where you have like your ult has an extremely low cooldown. You will silence them when they go through the wall and chain it into a curse as well. And I think, yeah, so you get burst in so that the damage from your carbine gets over the threshold to do burst damage. It's going to do even more. Honestly, I think the one thing I will say, especially when I've seen a lot of other Paradox players, is that they usually get Warpstone pretty early because The downside of Paradox ult is obviously that you're switching positions. So getting Warp Stone pretty early on to swap positions is a pretty big deal. I think that waiting until after getting Curse to get Warp Stone, I think is a little bit greedy. I think this is like an extremely core item on Paradox. I think I would put that much earlier, maybe up here somewhere. Maybe that would force you to sell Resto Shot or something, but I don't think that's a huge problem either. Both of these items, these three items, honestly, are mainly laning items, except now they changed it so Headshot Booster upgrades to Headhunter and High Velocity Mag upgrades to Pristine. So you will keep these two. So that makes sense because that means you can upgrade to these items without needing a flex slot. So that's good. So you sell these two and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4. And then your first flex slot, I think, should pretty much be Warp Stone. So that makes sense. For people who send in their guides in the future, by the way, try to add like a paragraph about what the idea behind your guide is, so it's easier for me to find something interesting to talk about it than test. All right. Hello, I'm Mira. The point of this build is to use Majestic Leap with your Carbine and Wall, amping your potential to swap gank and split push more effectively. Carbine applies time stop to yourself when you zoom in, allowing you to look for picks and swaps mid-air. When you hit a stop during a leap, you can use your wall to cancel all momentum, allowing you to get your swap off and through your wall. Leap also lets you activate Carbine from far away, allowing for surprise swaps during hectic team fights. Another escape tool to use for swaps or when sticky situations. A flashy support-esque build. I'm trying hard to make this work, so if you feel like there's something I could add or take away, let me know. So the first thing I'll say is that I feel like Majestic Leap is not an item you buy for escaping ever, because when you take damage, it's on a 5-second cooldown. So it's easy to say like, oh yeah, I get Majestic Leap, so I have another way of escaping. But it's very rare that you actually get to escape with them unless you manage to like juke someone for 5 seconds and then leap out. And Paradox doesn't really have that much tools to do that with either, unless you have a Warp Stone already. I do like the idea though. There's some cool combinations here that's like pretty thought through, like popping Carbine before using Majestic Leap, so it's like harder for people to hear it and they can like come as a surprise in the middle of a fight. I think that's a cool idea. Oh, there's a clip here too. Maybe we'll see what this is. Oh, there we go. Popping Kinetic. They can't hear it. Okay. Ooh. Oh, wait. That's kind of sick. The fact that you like, because you have shit tons of momentum and because you can do the Paradox like thing where you ADS to like stop in the air to swap. That was actually really sick. Yeah, I want to see that. I'll show that again. So basically first they do a normal Majestic Leap, and then they press it again, and then they cancel the downwards momentum by pressing space to jump. It gives you a lot of forward momentum, and then they cancel the forward momentum by doing the Carbine time stop thing, which is only Paradox. Paradox can just like stop and hover in the air. Okay, here we go. So you pop, so the idea is that you pop Carbine outside, because when you hear Carbine, you always hide, right? Like that's like, as soon as you hear Carbine, you hide. So you pop Carbine outside the like audio range, Majestic Leap in, reactivate, turn around, stop in the air, hit, swap, wall. That's pretty cool. I like that. That's damn. Let's see. Dude, Paradox is such a cool ass hero, man. Okay, I like that. I think you're on something cool. I don't know how normal it is. I haven't seen that many Paradoxes with Majestic Leap, but I can definitely see the potential of like getting swaps from unexpected angles and then still having Warp Stone to get back out. We have the items here. I hope this is not in order, because if you buy Mystic Shot as first item, that has to be a little bit troll. But I'm gonna assume it's not. There's also an estimation here on the amount of souls you have to buy the different ones. Yeah, see, this Paradox build has Warp Stone much earlier, which is something I really agree with. And uses basic mag, okay. And super late game all out, yeah. So, and this is something that is like also pretty common. When you follow a build or a guide and you get to the point where you have like 40,000 souls, there's a very high likelihood that the next item the build recommends isn't necessarily the best item to buy in that game. And that's where like you need to figure out what's gonna be good in this game. Is there a crazy good Vindicta, get a knockdown? Is there a really strong Yamato, get silence or curse? You know, like all these kind of things. So sometimes in general, when you see guides that have like, you have to buy these exact items, I think that's like a red flag. So I do like she mentioned here too, I'm trying hard to make it work and be struggling with what 6Ks to use. That makes sense. And once again, I'm no expert Paradox player, so I wouldn't really know exactly what 6Ks would be better to use, but I would highly recommend watching Michael's, who's got like 1,000 games on Paradox probably. Okay, next up we have DavidNuke. Say goodbye to your kneecaps, chuckle nuts. This build is from Mirage. It's a hybrid build of gun and spirit. You do whatever order of early. Healing right is still required from the zipline nerf. I know that his passive no longer kills people off of the zipline. Oh, the heal. Oh, I see what you mean. Because of the you can't boost back. Okay, that makes sense. Mid games where it gets fun. Rush ricochet so that farming and fights would be much easier to do. Quicksilver on 3 for reload and firing speed boost. This build is all about firing so that you can keep firing into team. Maybe okay, build up as much damage. Toxic and escalating exposure for even more damage on top of that, and to make sure they can't heal. DLCs are super late game, and the optional is for replacing healing right depending on what comp you're going against. Shooting people as much as you can before reloading, because the 3 proc usually happens when you start to reload, and Quicksilver allows you to be a bigger burst of damage with surge of power. Okay. First of all, let's just look at the skill order. Okay, you get the passive. Yep, that's pretty standard stuff. Yep, okay. So let's look at the build. High velocity mag, basic mag. Did it say it was in order or no? Whatever order early. Yeah, okay. Mystic Bursts, I think is good because Mirage's passive, when it builds up enough damage or enough stacks, it's gonna proc Mystic Burst. Basic mag is understood. So for those who don't know, Mirage's passive is pretty unique in the way that it needs a certain amount of time to go by before it can apply another stack. It's not like other like Fixate and Afterburn from like Haze and Infernus, where the more you shoot, the more debuffs you apply. It actually requires you to shoot like once every 2.5 seconds, and when it's maxed out, it's every 2 seconds. This looks like kind of like how you play Infernus if you want to farm. You get Ricochet pretty early, and to speed up your farm, to get your items, and then eventually it's also going to help you apply debuffs later in the game. And then you get Quicksilver. Quicksilver on reload on 3 is really good, especially for gun builds, because they don't really rely on the 3 to like build up a lot of stacks. It's just because you can always press it to reload, because the 3 has no cooldown pretty much. So putting Quicksilver on 3 is always like a guaranteed way of having like a free reload anytime you need it. I think the first thing I'll say that is kind of like my biggest criticism towards this, and this is just also Spirit Mirage in general, is even though there's tons of gun items in this build, I would still call this Spirit Mirage because all the gun items are kind of helping you apply spirit damage. You have Mystic Shot, then you have Ricochet to apply toxic bullets and escalating exposure to multiple targets plus the passive. So even though there's a lot of gun items here, I feel like this is technically what a Spirit Mirage would be, unless you just like purely went Echo Shard and a bunch of like tornado resets and stuff. My biggest criticism is that there's a little bit of anti-synergy here. So the cool thing now is that Quicksilver only procs if you have used some of your ammo. So if your ammo is full, it's not going to proc Quicksilver reload. I think here's where the counter synergy comes into play. The way escalating exposure works is when people take damage over time, the longer it takes, the more damage they take, and it just keeps ticking, right? And this is where toxic bullets comes into play, because Mirage doesn't have any kind of natural way of applying damage over time to proc those escalating exposure. So these two together, they synergize really well. It's kind of like how Infernus's Afterburn works as well, where just it's applying damage over time and escalating starts stacking. But here's the problem. First of all, it means that you actually never want to press 3 to reload, because then the passive, right? The quote unquote explosion, where like you build up stacks, and then when you press 3, it does like a big damage nuke based on how many stacks they have and how much spirit amp you've gained from escalating exposure. So what this means is that you would want to wait as long as possible before ever pressing 3, because you would want toxic bullet ticks and escalating exposure ticks to build up as much spirit amp on the target as possible before the 3 does damage. But this doesn't make sense, because when you're in the fight, you want to shoot, you want to empty your mag, and then you want to press 3 as soon as possible to use Quicksilver Reload. Also to use Surge of Power, because Surge of Power gives you bonus fire rate and movement speed. So these 2 items and these items are kind of counter synergies. And this is why I think that these items are technically better for a gun build, where the main focus of the 3 is just to help you reload. It's to help you move faster and shoot faster, so you can just spam it as much as possible. But with toxic bullets and escalating, you want to do the opposite. You want to never press 3. You want to wait as long as humanly possible, so that you know that the spirit amp buff is as high as possible before that burst damage kicks in, especially with the improved burst too. So I think that's my biggest criticism, is that I don't think that Quicksilver and Surge of Power makes sense in a spirit build on the 3. I think they're kind of just gonna kind of ruin the concept of what this does. And yeah, I would much rather buy like have the melee reload item, and then just go melee a creep in the jungle before fighting, or Titanic Magazine, or active reload even. My biggest criticism to this build and Mirage in general is that you're doing all of this just to basically get what Infernus has as soon as he comes out of spawn. That's my biggest criticism. You go through all of this just to do what Infernus is already doing. So if you want to go down this route, I honestly say just pick Infernus by Ricochet, by escalating exposure, and you have like complete natural synergies, tons of spirit damage, tons of spirit lifesteal, and a much stronger hero in general. I genuinely think that the 2 strongest builds for Mirage now is either more gun focused, and in that case Quicksilver makes perfect sense, because you don't need the 3 to do spell damage, you need it for a quick reload, and the more utility focused build with Echo Shard and cooldown reduction and stuff, where you use your ult to gank someone and then you double tornado them while someone else kills them. Because this is an expensive build, by the way. This build is kind of one of those things when you play Mirage and you're like 40, 50k souls in, you're like, okay guys, I'm online, let's fight. That's my honest opinion. I have made both a Spirit and a Gun Mirage build that you guys can try in-game. I definitely think that the gun build is much stronger and comes online much earlier, and it's also much more fun to play. I think this kind of ends up becoming a little bit of a gimmick. All right, Nater Tater. Hello there. This Kelvin build is focused on keeping our distance and spamming nades. The sheer amount of damage plus healing you can put out with this build is wild, and I've found that they've nerfed beam and buffed things like rapid refresh. This build has only gotten stronger. You're quite squishy with this build, but oh boy, do the nades be nade in. It's a lot of fun. Okay, here we go. So this is a grenade build for Kelvin. Extra charge, Mystic Burst, Entering Spirit, Sprint Puts, Monster Rounds, Mystic Shot, Spirit Lifesteal, Cooldown, Vulnerability, Fleetfoot, Healing Booster. Okay, let me see. So the first thing I'll say, I think here, is that Extra Charge definitely makes perfect sense. You get more grenades, and the grenade also heals you. The first thing I'll say is that Monster Rounds is like just one of the best items in the game to buy on anyone that doesn't have like a lot of slot issues with weapon items. So anyone that doesn't go full gun build should always buy Monster Rounds, in my opinion. And almost even if you're going full gun build, you could still buy Monster Rounds and just replace it later when that like bonus damage to minions isn't really an issue in the first place. The starting items kind of make sense, I'd say, for a grenade build. Maybe you could get a few more. Maybe you could get like, I think Hollow Point would be fine with this build too. Give some spirit power too. I'm not 100% sold on Mystic Shot for Kelvin. It's very easy to miss his gun. His projectile is pretty slow. And I think I would definitely also get High Velocity Mag, because it's pretty clear that this build is supposed to like stand far away. Like you mentioned, they're pretty squishy. And I think, actually, my biggest criticism to this build is a lot of this makes sense. These items make sense. Burst and stuff makes sense. I think that range would make sense. Mystic Reach increases the radius of the grenades. I do not think that Refresher makes sense whatsoever, and I don't think there's any build that builds Refresher on Kelvin because his cooldowns are already pretty low. However, I think that Echo Shard could be good here. If you are building very heavily around Kelvin's grenades, I think getting Echo Shard to do 2 of them could make sense. And especially because they also heal. You could also do a lot of burst healing with that. I understand the idea behind Alchemical Fire too. You can put it inside your ult and together with the grenades, it's going to do massive damage and stuff. I think the biggest odd one out here is the Refresher and the Mystic Shot. I'm not 100% sold on the Mystic Shot. I don't think this is good at all. And it would like much more benefit to use Echo Shard because the cooldown is so much lower. Refresher gives all the charges back. Yeah, but I don't think that's actually that important. I think if you have low cooldowns, I don't see how like using a Refresher to get all your nades back is gonna be that important compared to just being able to toss out 2 really quickly. It's a lot of souls. There are so many items you could buy. I think like Reverb is like a perfect item for this build. It also has Spirit Lifesteal and more ability range too. But yeah, but it's a cool build nonetheless. I don't think it's a bad build. I think that a lot of people play these kind of Kelvin builds where they do kind of like a hybrid between grenade and beam because a lot of the items you use are similar. Yeah, Echo Shard also refreshes a charge each time. So yeah. All right, here we go. This is good. Okay, SatchmoBronson. This is my double knife spirit haze. Very similar to what Red was trying the other night. Here it is, built in a 32k souls game where I did pretty well, second most damage in the game. The build is a little messy with a lot of spots to call audible, but the idea is built around maxing knife damage. Your first 6.2k is Echo Shard, built pretty much left to right until then. The rest of the build, like Enchantress Barrier, is also built around max and knife damage. Try to build gun strong enough to finish people off. My highest damage source was gun damage, but the initial damage is coming from knife, a melee, another knife, and then the gun starts. Monster rounds an early buy that I've sold if the game went long, but I did. Okay, so I was playing with Red here like a while ago, and he was trying to make this work. So the thing about, for those of you who don't know, the thing about Haze Dagger is that they don't instantly wake up when you take damage while you're daggered. There is a like sleep wake up time, and that time scales with spirit. So the more spirit you have, the longer it takes for them to wake up from damage while they are daggered. So that's the idea behind this build. So Red was cooking on something, and then Satchmo was watching, I think, so he was trying to make his own build. So let's see what's going on here. So the whole idea behind this build is to basically assassinate one target really well. So you sleep someone, and then you heavy melee them, and then you start shooting them, and then you sleep them again, and then you can heavy melee and shoot them again. That's the idea. Ammo scav early, extra health. I'd probably chuck in an extra regen in there too. Maybe I'm biased. I just love regen in the lane. I think so many lanes lose because they just get greedy. They buy a lot of damage items, and then they just constantly stay low, and then they die. I understand the extra health because Haze is like very squishy in the beginning. And I also understand monster rounds because like mentioned previously, I think monster rounds is one of the greatest items to get for anyone that isn't like purely going to focus on gun damage. It's going to help your jungling speed a lot as well. The first thing I will say is like, I think in terms of like a build's identity crisis, it's like figuring out how important is the melee part of this and how important is it to just be able to like shred with the bullet damage, because there's a delay in the wake up time that is like scaling with spirit. It also means that you could potentially just like skip the melee too and just shoot, or just melee the first one before you begin. If you wanted to go like more hardcore into melee, then you could do something silly like go a full melee build with like life strike and everything, which also would help your jungling speed a lot. You would like stealth in, you would melee someone, sleep them, echo shard, melee, sleep, melee. Wait, would you get 3 melees in? we might actually have to try a melee haze. That would actually be funny as fuck. So like I mentioned earlier, when I like looking at all these builds, I do want to play one of them, or I want to play one that is inspired by one of them and then make something off of it. So, but let's look in more detail on these items. So in general, when you make these builds, maybe it's in an annotation here, like where it says where the Quicksilver is going to be on, but it's almost guaranteed that Quicksilver is going to be on the dagger. It adds more damage to the dagger, and it also just means that whenever you're spraying someone down, as they get low, you sleep them, you get more ammo, and it comes back up. So all of these things make sense. Bullet lifesteal might be a little bit overkill because you're not going to be doing that much bullet damage. If it's for like sustain when farming and stuff, I don't think that that's like the craziest amount of sustain, but it's an okay item. It's also good for your ult and a lot of other things, but I think with this build you're probably never gonna ult. You have like no bullet damage, entering speed, combat barrier, so it seems like you're trying to like get some cheap bullet damage here and there, because even though the dagger sleep is like puts them asleep for a long time, a lot of damage still has to come from the bullets. And I think the slowing bullets is probably also so it's easier to actually hit your dagger. So that's also not a bad idea. So you have a lot of 1250 items here. So when you're like rushing Echo Shard and stuff, by the way, buying a lot of 1250 items before and after is kind of like a way to compensate for the fact that you have to save up a huge amount without having like a big power spike. I think in general, the criticism to like this build as a whole is that you can absolutely assassinate someone, right? Because they basically cannot play the game. But the problem is that you are very squishy while you're doing this. And it's pretty much like a really strong 1v1 build. I see you go spirit armor and bullet armor later on. I'm just struggling to see how it's gonna be very good. I think it's gonna be fun and stuff. Because Red was really trying to make this build work, but he was also just like struggling to actually make it work. Like you will get some silly clips with it. And I truly believe that like, I really do like the idea of having silly builds, but they need to also be okay. Like you can't like make a build that is so silly that it's like completely throwing, because then you're also just gonna have less fun because it's not gonna work that often. But in terms of like the idea, I think you pretty much have the right items for the idea, because like combat barrier gives you extra fire rate and damage, and it's pretty cheap. And because you're always coming from stealth and you're assassinating someone, your barriers will always be up before you go in. I guess you could consider using Veil Walker when you have both combat barrier and enchantress barrier for a bigger spirit shield and a bullet shield, but they did nerf Veil Walker a while ago to not give fire rate anymore. So it's before that, more people used to buy it on Haze. Haze also is that your ammo capacity scales with spirits. So you probably won't have any huge issues with reloading either, but your bullets are not going to do that much damage. So yeah, every time I've seen this build in game, it's kind of lost us the game, can't lie. Because when you get to the late game, you don't necessarily have enough power to assassinate people that well, because you spent so much power into spirit and people will be stacked together. And this is why we might have to cook a melee build, because there is a world where this could work a lot better as a melee build, because then you can like stay in the middle of a fight much longer. So, all right. Hello guys, I'm Cam. I want to show my Lady Geist tank build. Focus on being tanky and countering enemy heroes, able to peel for carries. I have the store set up so the core items for the build first, followed by the counter items using Jonas uses in his video. After that, the items can be used for different stages. Bottom of the build, when I've used this build, I also put in a clip of the build in the sandbox with all the items at max level. I am worried the build is hard to navigate in the menu, and I'm not sure if certain items would be better than others. This build can solo mid right around when you have 20k souls, but it's really slow. Okay, let's see here. Oh, okay. Wait, how big is your build, bro? Wait, what? Okay. Guys, I just want to say one thing. If you need 3 screenshots to show your build, it might be a little excessive, I can't lie. That's like the amount of screenshot I would need to show the whole shop. Okay, so this is suggested items. This is early extras, mid-game extras, late game. Okay, so this is my problem. If you guys send a build that has too many items in it, it's gonna be really hard for me to suggest exactly build order and stuff, because I don't even know what your order is. What I can say based on looking on this one is that there is one item here that costs 500, and then there's 4 items that cost 1250, and then the rest of the items are 3k or more. So if you're using this just for yourself, then of course do whatever you want. But I think it's important when you make these builds that if you want other people to copy them or try them, try to also make it easy to understand. If you've seen some of my builds where like The early game items are in order. It tells you which one you should sell for which other items later on. And if you don't have flex slots, then do this. Try to like make it as like easy to understand as possible so that when we share builds with each other, it's also going to be easier for all of us to just try them and play them correctly. Warpstone on Lady Geist is a must. Her ult has extremely short range, so that makes sense. A lot of this makes sense, but like I think my main issue here is just that I have no clue what this build is doing, because this is like every Lady Geist item ever. It is both gun items and spirit items as well. It says Lady Geist tank build. I would highly suggest that you make a build that has like a more specific idea so that you can send in like a build order. And because here it's like, there's a video that shows the full build. Wait, how many tier 4 items is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 tier 4 items. Okay. Yeah, so that's not very realistic that you'll ever get to 7 tier 4 items either. We'll keep going. I think this is just a little bit hard to like, I think simplicity is key here, guys. Like you can have like an optional tab and stuff, but yeah. Antonius is the name and DPS is the game. As the title suggests, Warden is indeed not a tank and is a supreme damage dealer. And if you think otherwise, you probably main Haze. Ooh, okay, I like it. Some spiciness. This build does not have any situational... Wait, this build does not have any situational items and only has one tank item, being Kevlar, for the sole purpose of not being a tank and sticking to it because Warden is a stern man and he knows his beliefs, run and gun. I have had quite a lot of fun with this build. It feels a bit weak early game unless you use your kit properly and play around your CC. Hope you enjoy. Okay, Warden is not a tank. Sell bullet lifesteal when you get leech or don't replace it at all, up to you. Quicksilver on 1. Quicksilver on 1 is like the... really good on Warden. It makes his alchemical flask do more damage. It makes the reload much better. Close quarters, these items are very good for Warden. The reach helps him like do the cage within range. Entering speed helps him. Close quarters, he can always like be on top of his enemies when they're caged. And high velocity mag also helps him because he's got a very slow gun. And both of these ones upgrade to those ones. So that is also, this is like, this person has like actually thought about this for quite a bit, because when you have an upgrade path that doesn't require flex slots, it's pretty cool. Like you see how these items upgrade to those items. So you still only have 3 gun items in total. And then he has 2 spirit items here and another 2 here. So now he's up in 4. But then this one is an upgrade from that one. This one is an upgrade from that one. And this one is the first one that isn't an upgrade, which is also why I was like, okay, but that means you could technically also buy basic mag early game. You might as well if you're planning to upgrade to Titanic later, because all of these items upgrade. But I will say I would probably just get monster rounds instead. I think monster rounds is just like a great item to get in the beginning anyway, especially with regen as well. And it's going to give you more gun damage in the lane too. I will say, I think my biggest criticism to this build is that if you're focused on a gun-focused build, which means no Majestic Leap, not a lot of spirit items, you almost have to have Slowing Hex, I think. And not only that, you must have some active items that give you run speed. You need to have Fleetfoot, at least. And maybe even Fortitude and Diviner's Barrier, but at least Fleetfoot, because it doesn't slow your speed when you're running. Because when you buy Close Quarter and Point Blank, the assumption is that you have to stay on top of your enemies. And the way to do that is to run faster than them. So I think that this build has thought a lot about how to do a lot of damage, but not so much about the utility. How do you guarantee that people stay in the cage? You get Slowing Hex, you cast it at the same time as his cage. How do you make sure that people can't like run away from you? You get more movement speed. You definitely need to have Fleetfoot. I honestly think that you could get away with not having Titanic Magazine because there's not that much fire rate in this build right now. So Warden's fire rate scales with Spirit. So there's a world where Fleetfoot could be your flex slot item. Honestly, you don't really have that much slot issues. I think Fleetfoot and Slowing Hex would definitely be the first 2 items to recommend here. Most people play Spirit Warden nowadays with Majestic Leap and cooldown reduction and ult, which I still believe is the strongest build by far, because the biggest downside of this build is that you're never going to use your ult it's pretty much going to be useless. And if you use her ult, it's not going to do that much damage. But still, you get Diviner's Kevlar, you get Boundless. Okay. Yeah, see, that's where I feel like if you're going to commit to this kind of build, I would just keep committing. I would get maybe Bolt and Spirit Armors or Unstoppable, or like when you're like down this route, now you're just trying to be both at the same time. And I think that's the same problem as the Bebop build we saw earlier that tried to be both a bomb and an ult build at the same time. I think you're just trying to wear too many hats. You need to simplify your build a little bit. And these are pretty much all tier 4 items as well. So it's going to be extremely expensive. I don't think you need Majestic Leap, and you don't need Cold Front either. But slowing Hex and Fleetfoot for a build like this, absolutely. Majestic Leap is mostly for ult. But if you're like, when you get to this point, then yes, probably. If you're going to get Diviners and you're going to get Boundless and stuff, then you might as well get Majestic Leap. Anyway, another item that is really good is also Heroic Aura or Vampiric Burst. They both give a lot of movement speed and a lot of sustain. So that's my, most of my feedback. Next up, we have the Because Man's McGinnis build. This build is designed to increase McGinnis' ability to engage in team fights as opposed to her usual role as a split pusher. Toxic Bullets, Slows, and Mystic Vulnerability add additional damage and utility for helping your team and turrets to finish the enemy off. You can later flex into more traditional build if so desired. Turrets are still good, going pew-pew in this build. Toxic Bullets also help with farming jungle, allowing her to go between lanes more frequently. This build has been fun so far. Would love any suggestions. Okay, let me see here. Okay, so let's start with the beginning. This is pretty good. Toxic McGinnis teamfight build. Monster rounds, high velocity rounds, extra health. This makes you strong in lane, extra charge for an extra turret. They recently removed one turret charge. That makes sense. Oh, and then suppressor straight away. Interesting. So this is gonna like, as soon as the turrets hit you, you're going to do a lot less damage because the suppressor is going to slow down your fire rates. And then you go slowing bullets, toxic bullets. So I'm assuming this is in order. Okay, interesting. The first thing I'll say is that this also feels a little bit like a build that is trying to do a lot of stuff at once. Some of the McGinnises that make these kind of like turret-focused builds and teamfight-focused builds, they go pretty heavy into spirit, and then they maybe have like Heroic Aura or something just because it like buffs your teammates and your turrets too, I believe. I do like, there's a part of me that likes the whole idea of slowing bullets and toxic bullets plus Fleetfoot because it means that people can't really get away from you. I feel like this is a build I would have to see in action. I'm trying to understand what the biggest drawback of this is. Obviously late game you get Echo Shard to get more turrets. Sharpshooter, that's an interesting one. So here's something funny about Sharpshooter, guys. This is something we discovered earlier because Sharpshooter is an item that used to be bugged because this is the only item in the game that reduces your weapon ranged fall-off damage. And because Toxic Bullets and also, for instance, in Furnace's Afterburn, the time it takes to apply the debuffs, the threshold is actually buffed by Sharpshooter because it's based on the damage fall-off range. So if you have Sharpshooter and you shoot at people long range with Toxic Bullets, you need less shots to apply the Toxic Bullets debuff than you had before you used Sharpshooter. But the big question is that a big enough reason to spend 4,250 souls on Sharpshooter? Because you could technically buy Swift Striker for 1,250 and probably get enough fire rate to the point where it would do the same. There are some cool synergies here though. One of them being that Toxic Bullets is also spirit damage, which means that whenever you apply a debuff on them, they will be slowed by slowing bullets. They'll be slowed by Mystic Slow because this is spirit damage. It will take escalating exposure. So you become like a debuff machine. So I think that that part is a good idea. There are always trade-offs whenever you try to do everything at once. So that's, of course, scary. I think I would drop the Sharpshooter and long range thing. I don't know how often you'll get. I feel like that's kind of like a counter synergy with McGinnis because when you're using her wall, it's really hard to use her wall and stay away from someone. You're kind of using the wall to kind of force people to not be able to escape and then get up close and drop down turrets and stuff too. Obviously, the turrets will apply escalating and the turrets will apply mystic slow. It's just an added effect that the toxic bullets does it too. I will say that like normally I don't recommend buying toxic bullets every game, but you can almost buy it every game because there are so many popular tanky heroes with healing like Shiv and Abrams and Mo and Krill and Infernus. And all of these heroes are countered by toxic bullets plus Healbane. And Healbane is also active as soon as you do spirit damage. So as soon as your toxic bullet procs, it also procs the Healbane. So there's a lot of synergies going on. It's obviously an expensive build and it has a lot of optional stuff. But for what it's worth, I understand where you're coming from. And I guess my biggest criticism is usually just the fact that like McGinnis is so good at split pushing. So why would you make her worse at that? I think most people get McGinnis for the ability to just absolutely tear down walkers. So trying to make a build where you take them away from what they're naturally good at might not necessarily be the play. But again, I also highly encourage people to play other playstyles. So I don't think I should be the one to tell people that heroes should be played a certain way, because I certainly do not do that at all either. All right, Wraith build description. I'm fairly new, but I've gathered great success with this build. You get healing right first, depending on who you're against. The first row is in order, and the rest is what you feel is best. It can be bought in order. It's high damage, low cooldown, aggro play, bully Wraith. Not really meant for the jungle, just split pushing, getting cheese kills in the lane, taking advantage of the player advantage. Okay. It's fun for new players that don't know how the buy system works and they can just buy good items without worrying about selling or filling the wrong item slot. But I'm also don't have nearly enough games to fully say this is optimal, and I'm open for feedback as I am a Wraith main. Okay, let's see. Okay, let me see here. What is this other picture? Oh, this is endgame. Flex slot. Oh, interesting. Oh, so this person is actually just straight up giving you all the flex slots you're supposed to use. I like that. That's a good sign that you put some thought into the item progression when you straight up just go like, these are the items that are supposed to be in the flex slots. I think the only downside of this is that in a lot of games, you're not necessarily going to get those flex slots, or at least not all 4. And depending on what stage in the game you are, what adjustments can I make? So let's look at them. Starting items, high velocity mag, mystic burst, entering spirit, healing right. Basic mag, extra charge. The first thing I'm noticing is that this is a lot of tier 1 items. It is actually 11 tier 1 items. Now, when I play Echo Shard Bebop, I buy 8 tier 1 items because I'm saving for an Echo Shard. So I want to be as strong as possible before that. This build skips most 1250s, which is kind of interesting. But a lot of these items, in fact, I think I'm understanding what they're trying to do here. They're buying tons of items that are upgrades of the tier 1 items. Headhunter is an upgrade to Headshot. Pristine is an upgrade to High Velocity, Close Quarters, Extra Stamina, Healing Right. I think if I understood what he typed correctly, it's fun for newer players that don't know how the buy system works. They can just buy good items without worrying about selling or filling the wrong item slots. I'm assuming like the idea behind this is that almost every item can be upgraded so you can't go wrong. As much as I think that that's a great idea, because if you look at these items, almost all of them are upgradables from the very beginning. That usually also means that you might have been trading ease of use for the correct items, because this might be a little bit overcooked. I do like the idea. Don't get me wrong, I do. But I am slightly worried that it becomes very expensive. Like, do you really need Health Nova on Wraith? Health Nova is an item that heals everybody around you, and the more people that are around you, the more it heals. I don't think that makes a lot of sense for Wraith because you're mostly an assassin. And it also says it's mostly for split pushing and getting cheese kills late game, so then I don't really see the use for Health Nova. I also don't know if it's worth spending 3,000 on superior stamina because you have one of the greatest escape tools in the game. You can teleport so far. And I feel like sprint boots would have been a much better choice. Maybe I'm biased because I'm a sprint boots enjoyer, but I just feel like the sprint boots would have been much better than superior stamina and extra stamina, and it also costs half as much. And then there's a few other things. The Headhunter item doesn't add that much damage, but it adds a lot of movement speed and some sustain. But I feel like this, maybe it does work. Maybe it does work. You pop your 3 and you just run at them. But also debuff reducer and debuff remover. It says here that these are like end game items, but I personally always feel like debuff remover and debuff reducer is situational. In some games they're great, and in some games they don't do that much. So I feel like, and again, I understand that like partially this is also because it's supposed to be a beginner build, but I think it's a little bit excessive to just like tell people to buy it every game. Same goes for silencer. I think for Wraith, you want to buy either Silence Glyph or Curse to guarantee that you get your ult off. Again, I think that this is because Silencer is an upgrade from Slowing Bullets, because it's very clear that this entire build is very much designed around using upgradable items, so you never have to worry about filling the wrong item slots. And I think that's like an awesome idea for beginners. I just have a feeling that it's affecting how good the item choices actually are. And Silencer is mostly bought on heroes that hit multiple targets like Ricochet. It's still not bad, but it's an extremely expensive item. And most people buy Shadow Weave on Wraith these days. Yeah. Sell Health Nova for a Veil Walker. Sell Headhunter for... Wait a minute. Okay. Another thing I will say, don't ever make a build where you have to sell 3k items. 3k items should not be sold. That's 1,500 souls wasted. Like, I think it's a really bad sign if you have to sell 3k items in your build, unless you're like super late game. So I think that's also one thing I'll say. Other than that though, I think it's like, I like the idea. I like the idea behind like making it easier for beginners. And if this is supposed to be like a trade-off where like the build is slightly worse, but you also can't go wrong with anything. So when you're a new player, you just click buttons and you buy them, then cool. But I also think that for those newer players, they might also just have benefited more from just following like a really good guide or a really good build, or just like reading beginner guides and learning about itemization, because I don't think this is going to teach you much about itemization either. You're kind of just buying everything. So having a little bit more like a sense of direction, I think would make a little bit more sense. And also, guys, don't be scared to buy active items like Curse, Shadow Weave. These items are really good. Really good. All right. Last one we're doing today before we let me see. All right. Tobes. This is an off-meta, non-refresher focused build. Not meant to be optimal, but very fun. Oh, this sounds like all my builds. It's meant to just sustain as much as possible with a 3 and then focus damage on melee and close range fighting. We stack cooldown reduction, which allows us to spam 3 more and reduces the internal cooldown on melee, lifesteal, and our healing items. To play the build as intended, you wait on using healing items and CDs until your ult. Since you're immune to status effect, you can proc all your heals at once again. 1800 health instantly with no worries of heal reduction. Okay, this is referring to when we were talking about the latest patch notes for Yamato. They removed a lot of her resistances, which made her a lot more squishy in her ult. She's almost guaranteed to get down to 1 health. And I was talking about how I felt like that melee Yamato might be stronger. So I'm assuming that that's kind of where we're going here. So let's see where we're going here. Monster rounds, melee lifesteal, ammo scav, spirit strike. Yep, all of this is classic melee build. Yep. Oh, Resto Locket and Health Nova. Okay, so this is the idea where, because once you pop your ult, all the healing reduction is gone. So you pop those, plus you hit someone with life strike and you heal back up to a lot. I think the first odd item to me is Kinetic Dash. It gives some more ammo. It gives you less, like it uses less stamina and stuff, but it's not that common in melee builds. Of course, you're not only gonna melee, so in that regards, it makes sense. I also think that I would personally buy Torment Pulse much earlier. If you're gonna have Torment Pulse in your build, I feel like that's an item you can rush because it greatly speeds up your jungling speed. So these items are designed for you to fight early, but you're not strong enough to like fight as much this early. Like your melee isn't doing that much damage, like 2 of the items that give you the most melee damage. So I think I would definitely get Torment Pulse much earlier to speed up the jungling, fly through the jungle. Oh, then you got Soul Rebirth already. Okay. Damn. Let me see here. Life Strike, Healing Booster, Soul Rebirth. Another thing is that Yamato doesn't have any resistances anymore on her ult. Bullet resist has a little bit of bullet resistance, so does life strike, but most of these items don't give any resistances. So I think that getting the cheap versions of like bullet and spirit armors should probably be put in here pretty early, because in most builds those bullet and spirit armors are optional, but I don't think that's the case for melee builds, because melee builds require so much sustain to kind of be kept in the loop that I would definitely get some of those earlier. Colossus makes perfect sense. That's like a standard in melee builds. And then I feel like down the line here, your build is kind of going through an identity crisis. Escalating exposure and torment pulse and refresher. These are like 3 very standard items in the cookie cutter spirit Yamato. And then these items are really good for like running fast, shooting fast, healing a lot when you're playing gun Yamato. Focus damage on melee and close range fighting. So I'm guessing that it's not like fully focused on melee, because when you get to this point here, it seems like you want to shoot as much as possible, because these items have like no synergy with melee whatsoever. But yeah. One thing some people forget is how important it is to be tanky when you're playing melee builds or like close combat builds, especially now that Yamato doesn't get any resistances on her ult. You don't want her ult to just be a way of delaying your death for 4 seconds. She has the flying strike into melee. That's cool. So you have a good gap closer. So you don't really need phantom strike. You don't need warp stone. I think frenzy could be good in this build. So frenzy to me is like such a good item on Yamato. So frenzy gives you bullet resistance and fire rate when you're under 50% health. And when you pop your ult, now that you have no resistances either, you're guaranteed to have the frenzy buff on. I've seen some clips of like frenzy plus leech or frenzy plus vampiric burst, and you instantly like heal back up to max, but it also makes you more tanky. So I think I would love to see a frenzy in here instead of some of these items. And I think that escalating is an extremely expensive item, and you're not buying Mystic Vulnerability early game either. So that's also just going to take up an extra flex slot. It's not like it's just an upgrade of an earlier item. So in terms of like your upgrade path too, this might be an overcook. Because I feel like if you're going down the route of getting escalating exposure, it has like 0 synergy with melee and 0 synergy with bullet damage pretty much. I think I'd much rather like to see the going one way or another. I think that's my biggest concern, is that like then you might as well get Mystic Reverb and go down that whole route. So to conclude all the builds so far, I think a lot of you have a lot of very interesting things going on. I think some of you are probably overthinking a bit and getting too advanced with it, instead of having a more like simple upgrade path and putting more plans into each item and how it fits in what order, and having like a certain amount of situational items instead of just like putting every item in the shop. And like just if you want other people to use them as well, you gotta probably simplify it. And I've noticed that a lot of the builds, they seem to kind of have like an identity crisis, where in an ideal world you have like a build that is worth like 70,000-80,000 souls, but like in 90% of games you're never going to get to that point. So it's much more important to have the like early to mid game really locked in, like with the correct item choices, because that's when you're like your economy is more scarce as well. Become more certain that the early items are the correct ones for your build, and have like a specific thought process to why these items are the correct ones for your build. However, we're not done yet. What we're gonna do now, we're gonna take this one as an inspiration, and we're gonna cook Satchmo's Spirit Haze into a melee Haze build. Ideally, you want to land the heavy melee before you sleep, but I think that you might not always be able to, but ideally... Sleep. Nighty-night. That is so incredibly toxic. So you would have to stealth, sleep, Echo Shard, sleep, put knockdown, like that. I'd say, chat, it's time to run it down. Yeah, who would make punch hit builds? That's crazy.
Fart, fart, fart.
Last game, 2.4k damage in 2 punches. So stupid.
Not this guy playing the most broken punch hero in the game, complaining about punch builds. I'm sorry, but that's a little bit ironic.
I'd be angry.
I forgot how good ammo scav is on this hero.
Oh yeah. You get like 20 extra bullets or more
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
And it's like a must. Yeah.
Should probably put it in just for the laning stage.
I don't know how Vindicta went to the worst character in the game in like one patch.
That's honestly impressive.
Yeah, that it was like the best to the worst. But I believe that we can make it work.
Of course. Gonna sleep him? Oh, he walked up! No!
Warden's really low behind you left.
I crowed him. He's bleeding.
Dude, we would have actually owned him there, but he walked forward. Like, right when I... Oh, no.
Oh, Vindicta's gun is such a last hitter. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think she's highest velocity actually in the game.
Okay, whenever I sleep Kelvin, you gotta be ready for the melees.
Oh, don't worry. I'm going to tether him too.
Someone's gonna be
Yeah, okay.
concrete.
Like right after the melee.
Yeah. Okay, we just gotta...
He's going to immediately statue us though when we're on him. And I'm pretty squishy, so...
Just back up a little.
Gonna go for a little box run here.
Yeah, do it.
Shit, I'll come back.
Wait, did I just get a... Why didn't I see the notification? Wait, what? Did I just get a sub? Pink Bang, did you just gift a sub? I don't see it in the notice.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell, dude? There's no suggestion for what I should upgrade. I'm like, oh yeah, it's just level 2 and ult right away.
Yeah, I
The
know.
instant damage.
Are you ready if I go around and sleep him?
Yeah, I mean, I play it, so I can...
Okay.
What do you say?
This wave's another 500 items, so...
Okay.
I'll throw in.
Moving into position.
I got all the points.
Face your death with some
Flying.
courage.
Oh, never mind. He backed.
Ooh. Fighting like 30, but kind of owning Ivy.
Yeah, I think I definitely should have ammo scav. Just to make life a little easier.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna buy it now.
Now go out there and impose your will.
They will know what it feels to be helpless.
Ivy can die.
I'll have safe
I'm looking
Kelvin,
Kelvin actually. Ivy's in the sewer. Sewer.
Sleeping?
Oh,
Huh?
that was a good gargoyle.
Wait, how? I saw the fucking... What?
It's fine. It was a good statue.
I didn't know that was possible.
Did she reactively do it, or is just she probably just like
I don't know.
guessed? I almost have ult here. Push hard.
Okay.
Both one.
Okay. Whenever you're 3k, I'm gonna go for a sleep.
I have it in one minion. I have it.
Okay.
I will dance, and they will die. Be still.
Sleeping here.
Yeah. Ready? Oh, he just dies to that. Okay. Alrighty then.
You'll never see me coming.
I forgot how good this character was before 10 minutes, and then you completely fall off a cliff like Niagara Falls.
All right. Okay, I got
Stay strong,
melee
buddy.
charge. Got that. I'm gonna just farm these guys real quick.
When I get swing bullets, this is going to be a very fun lane for them.
Yeah.
I think you just rush escalating, and that's how you don't fall off, and then you just spam superior cooldown crow.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to roam here, I think.
Okay. I was gonna go for a sleep, but
Yeah.
it's okay. I'll just farm my items.
I mean, I don't like need to roam, honestly. It's freaking casual. like whatever. Oh, he died. Nice. My roam was worth. Okay, I'm gonna swing bullets.
Yep. Okay. Spirit Strikes on lock.
Wait, Vindic,
Alright.
there's actually a really great lane for you because when I get my level 3 ults, you can like farm your build so fast if you just get in the kill.
Slept.
Yeah. Hide. She's low, she's super low. She gargoyled. I'm not gonna chase, I'm just gonna try to kill Kelvin here.
Yeah. Where'd you go? Oh, here she is.
Underneath.
The shadow.
No.
Oh, I got Kelvin ulted.
I'm sorry.
I shouldn't have saved close to him.
Oh no.
I trolled.
Oh no.
It's still an S3 hero, this guy. So good.
Dreams.
Oh.
I'm coming back, I'm super lining. Oh no, she's statue. She's now.
Yeah.
I don't think you can parry Vindicta ult. I don't think that's how it works.
They're both one.
They're about to zipline super fast right now, so
I know.
I'm back up. I don't have extra stam yet.
I'm gonna
so
take
screwed.
the.
I'm sorry, man. I just wanted to try out Abrams. This was
Yeah, I'm
not the game to
trying out
try him
Wraith,
out
too.
of.
Bro, don't worry, it's casual, man. Just
That's
have
what
fun
the
with it.
casual mode's for. Hell yeah. I feel like people are like way less try hard and they just do like off meta stuff in normals now, which is good. That's how it should be. That's why rank I think was good.
Is that red, bro? Get him in.
Yo,
Yo.
that's good.
What up, bro?
Yeah, we're trying some crazy build right now. He's gonna go punch
Me too,
Haze.
I'm fucked. I'm fucked.
Bro, when you should see me first time Lash, bro. It was a little interesting. Let's just say that.
Bro, like I play Haze and Furnace, but I want to try Lash because every time I try to get a walker, this guy just jumps out of nowhere and throws me into him. So I'm like, you know what? Let me do that
Satisfying
shit.
ult.
It's not happening.
You can just kill like 4 people with 1 ult. It's just crazy. Just like, I mean, I feel this pain.
Sleeping. Get rid
Okay,
go.
okay. Tether.
No,
Oh.
no, red.
She was gonna wake up though. She was gonna wake up.
Still be on that dark and darker grind, or no?
Yeah, I was actually just questing. Oh, before this.
Okay. Well, never mind. You're forgiven.
Okay, so I tethered just because like the timer was about to end, I think, but maybe it does last way longer than I think.
Sleeping. Here.
Oh, I'm not there. Went to tower. Wait, Mirage is coming. Look, Mirage. Oh shit. Run!
Oh, fuck. I didn't. Low-key. Thought Mirage was on my team when you said Mirage is coming.
Okay, I'm gonna do it.
Okay, I'm going for a sleep. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Where is he? Oh, same.
We got you
They don't
can't
work.
run.
Sleeping.
Wait, where did his HP go? Wait, shit, I might just pivot to punch dick though. Okay.
Oh, God.
Actually, I'm going back. I'm coming back.
Oh, God. This is so dumb. I love it.
Taking an objective.
Might be time to visit the
I might
store.
actually just get, Okay, I got knocked down.
Gonna regret that.
Only the cunning will survive.
Alright, this character might be insane. Yep. I guess we built test the bullets.
There's no running from me.
How close are you to Echo Shard?
Full HP, bro. That's so sad.
I'm heading over there after this camp, I steal.
I'll make them helpless.
I'm a little fed.
Red, he's cooked this Kelvin so hard.
Every single one of them will die.
Dude, I can't wait till you get the full build and I see the clip. Okay, I just need to like get a flex slot for exhilarating. What's it called? Escalating.
Took out McGinnis.
Oh god. Uh-oh. Oh man.
I forgot. Is there a way to check what you imbued, which ability you imbued?
Yeah, you can hover the ability. It says if it's imbued. You imbue your steak.
Oh no, I was supposed to imbue Crow. No wonder I wasn't getting my freaking my thing.
I've never seen someone imbue steak before.
Yeah, maybe it's a new build.
It's definitely new, that's alright.
Any chance I can quickly sell it and rebuy it at the same price? You think if I like speed dial Yoshi, he'll make the change.
Waiting to be claimed.
Oh, bro.
My god, I'm aimbotting today.
Okay,
I got dark and darker aim.
I got all the ability points I need, so now...
Nap time.
The Warden in her jungle. Oh no, Ivy's chasing me too. What the f... Oh my god, Ivy's in her spawn. I'm scared.
Time to disappear.
They delivered the urn.
Oh, but I can buy a life strike here.
You'll be the last one standing.
Oh god.
I can't explain how good this change is, where only 3 towers is the flex slot now. Like, it's so nice.
Oh, Jonas, that was so obvious. Oh, I can't believe I should have faked melee that. It was so obvious.
But go where I wish.
Shiv 1.
Walker is under attack.
Alright, I'm doing it.
I'm dead, Mira.
When is he gonna parry?
Oh yeah.
Sweet dreams.
Let's go. There it is, bro. Let's go.
Impressive work.
Every time I last shot when I played him, I just completely failed because like I did not know how it worked.
Bro, the radius is so small.
You have to be like directly above. Yeah.
Yeah, true.
You can't. Yo, someone's sitting at 2-3. Look.
I'm not even there.
Oh.
How does it work, though? Because I feel like you can dash out of it, but still get grabbed by it.
Once the circle is full, then you have to grab as long as it's like line of sight.
Wait, Vindicta can actually like farm tier 3s with this build. Crazy.
It's like
damn.
my Creo.
Moving into position.
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah, sorta. Except that ult never does anything. That's the difference.
Holy shit, it's AverageJonas too.
That ult's a reload.
Yo, I'm testing a melee haze right now.
Valor is
Bro, I think it's gonna cook.
Yeah, just wait, guys. Just wait. You gotta trust me.
I'll wait for the video on that, bro, because that's my main. I used to run Ricochet, the Ricochet ult, so I have no shame.
Okay, that's why you can't figure out Lash. It needs more than one button.
Whoa.
Oh shit. Oh shit. You see him like disconnect. You see the disconnect. That was brutal. Slander.
Walker is under attack.
Alright, let's get my Guardian for the flex.
We already have it's only 3 instead of 4 now.
Yeah, we already have flex. They changed it. It's so nice.
Holy, it's Jonas.
I see.
I'm not
Yo,
fighting
show
that.
me.
I'm dead just because I
Take me
looked
to
at
tier
it.
1, bro. Wait, is that Kelvin? Oh, he's jungling up here.
Be still.
Oh, you have knockdown already? Oh, yeah.
Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh no, there's policemen. Oh my god, I just noticed.
I'm on him, I'm on him.
Just noticed that the warden is like going a little bit ham.
Only the cunning will survive.
I'm going for Shiv.
I'm coming.
Bedtime for you.
I won't do that.
Oh, I tried to time it, but your punch did so much damage. Oh, he's going the triple punch deluxe.
Rejuvenator.
I'm trying triple punch with Echo Shard and knockdown.
I'd go where I wish.
So does my ult actually do any damage?
Uh-oh, I'm dead. I have like no stamina.
Does my ult do anything? Oh. How did that sleep miss? Damn.
I have some bad news. The build may have fallen off. Okay. Oh, Crow. Yeah, you put duration on Crow. There we go.
YOLO.
Big bag on my body, big bag.
Listen to me.
Oh, that's so
You
funny.
think you're clever.
The freaking ult.
I'm knocked down. Bonk.
Oh, that's tragic.
This has become a
Yo, what are you doing, Jonas?
I'll slip right through.
protect me at all
There's that.
Shiv
Some
Ivor,
Warden on
Shiv
steroids.
Warden. And Kelvin and
I slept one. I slept one here.
I'm flying.
Bro.
I'm under attack.
I need 2k more for the Echo Shard, man. I just
Here,
want
come
to.
soak this wave.
No
Coming.
one will bar my path.
Oh no, Seven's about to fry it. It's fine, they have Rejuvenator. Just take the camps here, look with you.
Yeah.
I'm probably not getting escalating before this game ends.
Should we contest Earn?
I don't know about that one.
Okay, Warden here, Warden.
Yeah, I'm coming here.
He's sleeping.
Can you sleep him again? I binded him. Oh my god, no, he's so fast.
Not just that, he doesn't lose health.
Yeah, he has so many
Wait,
barriers.
somebody inside our farm. Right here.
Oh,
On the move.
The crows.
They
Where are the crows?
delivered the urn.
Me crow.
Yeah, okay, bro, he can cancel it with his one?
I saw that. That's crazy. Bro, I swear to God, I'm 10-2. And like a tier 1 jungle camp has more like impact than me.
can we get this? Are you here?
Yeah.
I'm putting
Yeah,
knockdown on
my
him.
movement, I got cock blocked by the thingy.
Bro,
With my crouching. Crazy damage.
you can't melee from like when you're like far behind though. That's the thing.
Yeah, melee's. Yeah, we have to run that back though.
Yeah,
We
that
have to
doesn't
run that
count.
back.
Round 2, guys.
We're literally like an anchor keeping the Titanic down on our team. I'm playing like the worst character and like a dog crap build. Oh my. Be a hard lane to shove. Oh boy.
I personally love laning against the McGinnis. What about you?
Oh. Maybe.
Oh, wait.
I gun shit out trade her, surely.
Well.
I'll make them helpless.
I'm just gonna buy ammo scab first, just to help the lane.
I should go shopping.
Once I learn how to hit these crows, it's game over for them.
I'm gonna buy ammo scab now.
Little bit of advice. Don't get caught.
Getting some urns or some.
No,
boxes
I am
real
looking
quick.
at YouTube chat. What was it? Is this a bot? Why would it be a bot? I'm streaming. What? Jonas bot confirmed.
Look who's ready for a 2 a.m. metro ride.
I'll have safe passage.
I'm coming, Ace. I mean, Paradox. Sorry.
You're playing that character, sir.
You will be judged.
Sleeping, sleeping, sleeping.
Wait, I'm dying? What? How does it reach that far? I didn't even know the McGinnis ult went that far. Oh no, I trolled.
Walker, they've taken an objective.
I'm coming, okay.
I don't know if we can do anything about this. Yeah, they're both just turbo tanky and do turbo damage.
I mean, it's like...
Okay, she's holding W and left click, and I'm dying. Maybe I can kill her here?
Everyone's missing.
I see Mirage. I think you're clever, but you're only delaying the
Should take...
inevitable.
He's
Need help on blue.
Dude. Why is it that when we want to try something, we get
Yeah, I know.
put against
it's
the most sweaty double tank lane in the world? Okay, I'm just gonna...
You want to buy a mug to go with
I'll
your
come
gun?
blue.
I'll slip right through them. I see Mirage.
And they're just gonna sit here the whole game. They're not gonna like roam or anything.
Sweet dreams.
What?
Our walker is
What just happened? Did that hook just cancel my second melee? I almost played that perfectly. Dude, that's so sad.
I see Bebop.
Dude. Fuck this, man. Wait, I don't even understand what happened. Did Bebop hook me?
In tornado. Wait, why don't you just jump? Nice, good job.
Guardian has been destroyed.
Can I fly?
Our purple wall
Oh, I forgot about you.
is under
I can buy something here.
Isn't he just dead?
Here.
Thank God your hook bugged. Nice.
Where do you go?
Well
Oh,
done.
he's dead. Keep forgetting there's no death sound.
I see Lush.
That guy. Oh.
The shadows embrace me.
I see Viscous. Headed to Broadway.
our walker.
I'm just gonna go farm my echo shards. Oh. What? Bro. Okay, thank you. Okay, what if I go in on this Bebop and you snipe him too?
I'll slip right through them.
Oh, there's a Viscous.
You're about to hook me. Oh,
got
I'm
the urn.
bugged. Oh, you missed hook.
Has been dropped.
I forgot about that. Wait.
I
That's
snared
actually
them.
sick. I could have stolen the urn there. Oh, he's still chasing me.
Okay, I'm gonna try to get this tower. I'm gonna die for this. Nah, I don't even have enough ammo.
Oh, that hit me? Okay.
Need help over here. Let me
Oh,
show
the
you
burn
all
wakes. Oh,
how it's done.
okay.
Pain.
Be still.
See what I mean? That guy just got hit by 4 heavy melees. And he's still alive.
Your time.
Fuck, I keep missing my Sorry. Been nicked a madge.
Don't feel so bad. The world's full of mediocre talent.
Oh, Mirage is 1. Oh, mini turrets did 1,000 damage from that range. Oof. Unloco.
You'll be the last one standing.
Could we just... I'm seeing for us a suicide for this tower for this slot. Actually, I'm gonna go do it. The lowest net worth anyway.
Oh my... Bro!
We all want this slot. Yes, sir. I'm about to get last shot, though. I can like feel it.
I'm not finished yet.
I stood. What? How did he get out of that? I had to hit him and he didn't die. Wait, where did the lash go? Was he alive?
I'm working on it.
Oh, I wish Abrams was just banned from this game mode. I could only be picked in ranked.
Money won't save you.
The getaway.
I'm not finished yet.
Hey, Yamato, don't feel bad, bro. We're all just trying to learn shit. It's an early access. Just have fun, bro. It's all good.
Yeah, we're all playing something new. We're trolling.
Bro, I'm playing
builds.
fucking melee Haze, and you're concerned about trying a new hero, bro. I've not used my ult yet.
It's just crazy to me that people feel like they need to like apologize for playing a public match alpha stage game.
I will
Like,
tear through their army.
like,
Yeah, I know.
bruh. Like, bruh.
Okay, Bebop.
Now they
It's
see
not that
me.
serious.
The rejuvenator is
I'm
descending.
coming, 7.
Me too. I'm using my boost. Did he just ball? Oh my god, he's out.
I have no limits.
Nice. He's not out.
Impressive work.
This is so fun.
Wraith.
He's waiting to be claimed. We only have one shrine left.
Well, this is an issue. I need to find a single target. Dude, these turrets also like are not good for
No
me.
one will bar my path.
Oh, I sick like 10.
I'm under attack.
Okay, wait here, maybe here.
How dare you?
Oh, nice. Oh, I did something. Oh my god.
All right.
All right, rerun that back.
Nah,
Yes.
I'm done. I gotta sleep. All right, guys. So that was the first episode of Pimp My Builds. I hope you guys learned a lot. This was just an example. The melee Haze build actually there's some cool stuff in there that can work. So I'm gonna keep cooking on that for a bit. You don't need a lot of items to actually make it work, because melee does so much damage naturally. Is it a competitive build? Probably not. Is it fun? Hell yeah. But yeah, leave a comment down below on how you like this series. We're gonna try to like figure out the format and stuff as time goes by. But until next time, I'll see you later. And don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching. Peace.